One of our key watch points is the China marketplace. China is a high teens % of revenue for Nike, but a mid-20s % of operating profit and a larger portion of incremental growth. Nike's a third of incremental growth plan for the business. Last quarter, they reported 24% constant currency revenue growth in China, which was a surprise to the upside. We think they again have strong results. This is going to be a key watch point for the market. We think the market will be looking for high teens or better constant currency growth, and we think Nike delivers.
What are you looking for? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Jim.
Well, I was just going to say Nike's a $6.5 billion business in China and a bellwether for Chinese consumer demand. So that's going to be a focus not just for Nike, but for other stocks.
Sure. In terms of North America, what are you looking at to be convinced that Nike is still strong here? You mentioned in your note that you thought back to school favored Nike. I mean, how is the direct-to-consumer business, for instance? And if we see that strong, what stocks could we see sell off on the back of that?
Sure. So all signs point to Nike's business being very strong right now, and that's because they're in a very strong product cycle. For over a decade, Stifel has conducted an annual back-to-school survey, and Nike's year-to-year gains this year were the strongest that we've seen in the history of that survey. And importantly, Nike's winning at higher price points, which we think is a leading indicator of overall brand demand and momentum, and we think that translates globally. That should definitely be represented in their direct-to-consumer numbers. Nike's digital business has been growing at a better than 30% rate. We think Nike's taken share from Adidas. That's what our survey shows. While Nike was showing strong year-to-year gains, Adidas was falling off, and some of Adidas's higher price point products, the new innovations just don't seem to be resonating.
I wonder if they're taking share from Under Armour as well, Jim. But I was also going to ask you, when they've not shied at all from some of their political sort of involvements, is that unaffecting them, or is that actually a tailwind? Because as you mentioned, those back-to-school numbers are incredibly strong.
They are. I think that's more a function of product strength than it is necessarily political stance. But Nike's always going to stand for free trade, and they're always going to stand behind the free speech of their athletes and the rights of their athletes. And so that's some of what we've seen with the Colin Kaepernick situation, for instance.
Are they taking share from Under Armour real quickly?
I believe they are growing faster than Under Armour in the footwear category. What you're seeing from both of the brands is a focus on quality of revenue, not quantity of revenue. And so Under Armour's pace of growth has been not as strong, but they are seeing really strong margin improvement because they're better matching supply with demand. Under Armour is trying to rebuild a foundation upon which they can grow taller in coming years.